Dr. Ghosh, we've seen an unprecedented crisis like Joshimat. We've seen other weather-related, environment-related impacts in India. And why I'm bringing that right up is even as companies chase profits and people chase economic growth, the environment is increasingly becoming clearer to the average Indian is a very important point. How severe is this crisis, and do you see we being prepared for it?
So, Siddharth, the climate crisis is here and now. We at CW have mapped out all the districts in India, and we can say that 75% of India's districts now are hotspots for extreme climate events.
75% of all our districts?
Yeah. So this is, and of course, it's a global crisis, but countries like India become more vulnerable. And therefore, the development pathway we design has to be completely different from anyone else, because the advanced economies of today have already built out that infrastructure and created the global problem in the first place.
Built out infrastructure in what was essentially
a skiing village. Yeah. So this does not mean that development has to stop. The question is, firstly, what is the pattern of economic growth you want in different parts of the country? In particularly vulnerable regions, etc., you might want to have a different kind of economic development versus in the plains, etc., where you can build out the harder infrastructure. But secondly, if you can start mapping out these climate risks properly at a hyper-local level, then you can price it into your insurance for that infrastructure.
I'm going to interrupt you here and take this example of water, for example. There are many companies now, and there were pioneers in this segment who made profits out of bottled water. The lack of clean water, and they made. What should business therefore be doing with this crisis that you are saying? 75% fall districts, climate hotspots. I think that's a very scary number. What is the challenge for the Indian business now?
The most important challenge is how do you get jobs, growth, and sustainability aligned in your business plan?
Yes.
These are no longer separate issues as an afterthought. So renewable energy makes sense.
It's not about window dressing your balance sheet.
It's not about window dressing. It's not after the bottom line, some CSR activity. You have to put sustainability into your business plan, because if you are an export-oriented industry, for instance, your global market standards are already changing.
He's built a completely sustainable business from scratch, really.
Yeah. So whether it's in automobiles, whether it is, renewable energy in any case, but if we have to export cars to Europe in 15 years from now, we can't export diesel or petrol cars. We'll have to export electric cars. If you're making steel, you have to make it green steel.
I have two things to just say here. One is I've worked a lot with water. I was part of the water movement. I was one of the first CEOs to be part of the United Nations CEO mandate, water mandate. And we found that there's big danger in India, because except for the Brahmaputra basin, lots of basins have started drying out. And the reason is that we have used water very badly. Every time we talk about water, we discuss drinking water, we discuss these little things. But that's not how water is used. 75% of the water is used for agriculture.
Yes.
Another 20%, 25% is used for industrial goods. And only about 5% is used for sanitation and drinking. So when you get such a low, I'm not saying we should not focus on drinking water, but if you can reduce the consumption of water, which Israel has done. Israel uses 1/6 the water that America,
Do you see
India.
that happening? We couldn't even get the farm laws implemented.
American and Indian consumption of agriculture. If you can make it 1/6, if you can recycle industrial use water as well as our for drinking, and I think that is the good news in it. So while the water is depleting, it can be replenished.
We have options. We have models.
There is a clear understanding now, scientifically proved, that the water is the same in the world since it began.